So as some of you know, I've been working on this kind of AI agentic browser extension under the belief system that like a lot of the tools that existed when I started this project, at least, were kind of like set OpenAI's operator to like drive a browser and go find you stuff, or like the deep researches of the world, which is like it will go search and read a bunch of stuff and synthesize it. But a lot of times, like, you know, you are kind of in your browser, you're doing stuff. Maybe you're on a VPN or like logged in or something along those lines, and you want to like get a sense of a page, a group of pages that maybe you vetted that you needed to read or do a bunch of stuff. And so this morning, it's election day here in the United States of America, and in particularly in Denver, Colorado. And I would love to lie to you and say that I am a better citizen than I am, but it's the morning of election day, and in Denver, this is predominantly a few like budget resolutions and school board, and I have not been totally tuned in, but I do think voting is important. So I'm like, well, okay, let me go research and do some stuff. And so I'm typing into the candidates' names, as well as you can see there's some tabs here for the various ballot measures to be like, what even is this and who are these people? And I type in two of their names and I see like dark money pours into Denver public school board races again. I'm like, well, that's interesting. Where's dark money going? So this is kind of the tool I've been working on over here. And I'll show you some other pieces like in addition to the part like that we're looking at right now in a second. But you know, I was like, all right, so I don't really have time to read this entire article. I got work to do today, like working on this thing. You know, it's like, show me the information of which candidates are receiving dark money, because you know, that seems like a bad thing, right? And so it then obviously, you know, we'll get a summary of the page to get a sense of what it is. And what's cool about what this tool does, and I should probably find a better way to show it, is it like looks like for what you search for, and then like a whole bunch of other terms. It's not like just hitting Command F or Control F where you have to find an exact match for what you typed for, because I could like search for dark money and that'd be fine. But like I want to be like find all the related terms, and then what it does is it takes the DOM, like the web page itself, and slices and dices it all sorts of ways, and like evaluates every chunk. Like, is this relevant? So it goes through, it like figures out all the other terms, it makes a rubric for what it considers relevant. So it's not just about word match, it's about the actual context and understanding. And then it goes through, and you can see it kind of adds these like annotations, and you can see them here as well, and it will score them and kind of give you like a reason, you know, both the thing that it found and as well as a reason for why it believes that it was relevant. And you can kind of like jump down to the part that could potentially be interesting. As you can see here, it'll also give you like a summary of the page as well, but it's not like, oh, did this thing like correctly interpret it? Does it have hidden biases? Because again, you're the one kind of at the driver's wheel. And there are some other I think interesting things, like let's say like it was a larger thing, we only want to focus on one section, the ability to kind of like add highlights and be able to kind of like see, you know, and hyperfixate on just one part of the application as well. And there's also the ability to kind of like, if there are multiple links, you can kind of like open all the links in a new tab group, and it will try to like get a sense of what that tab group was and name it appropriately. You can also do that across for all of its annotations, like, oh, so it found this has a link in it, like I want to open a new tab group with like all of the links, I can go ahead and do that. It tries to give it a name, again, alpha software here, folks. But you kind of the ability as you're driving this, and if you just wanted like some kind of like summary here as well, it will go ahead and like just summarize a given page, which is not particularly like, you know, novel, but like useful nonetheless and very easy to implement. So here we go. Where I eventually want to get with this is the ability to have like kind of like deep research, but across like things that you vetted, or like notebook LM in the like sense of like, hey, I have a bunch of tabs open, I have a bunch of stuff, I've opened up this research that I'm doing, I vetted this as the things that I need to read, like help me kind of understand it. And so in this case, I also kind of, let's just close this group for a second because whatever. You can also see there's like some kind of tab management features here, right? And some of it is just simply like little stuff that could be done. So you can take any two tabs and like summarize them together, or create groups, and you know, you can drag and drop them if you want to. That's just kind of there because it's easy to do. But I think what's super interesting is you have the ability to kind of get summaries like across a bunch of tabs. And in this case, you can do it across the current window, current group, or all windows. But I kind of set this up on purpose to be a little bit problematic, where I've got a bunch of stuff that I was doing to research like the ballot initiatives and whatnot. I also have like, oh, VTest 4 came out, I don't know, yesterday, a week ago, who knows. I read about it yesterday, and so that tab is open along with some like other JavaScript based stuff. And then I opened up a few tabs on the Strat Plus, which is a guitar from the 1990s that I have never owned and yet somehow look up things for all the time. And what I think is kind of interesting is I kind of build toward this like deep research across the kind of context that you have and like the things that you're logged into and the access. So the very tedious things that you do as you are like doing your day-to-day life, like could we give you tools to kind of give you a set of superpowers, right? So I hit the like organized tabs by topic, and it kind of gives me a sense of like what's going to go down here. And you can see it made 4 groups: JavaScript testing, Denver School Board, Colorado ballot measures, Fender Strat Plus. That seems fair. We can go ahead and create those tab groups for me, and it will go and kind of then rearrange all these tabs into like topic specific things. And so what's cool then is you can go ahead and like if I navigate into a group in this case, right? I can say like, okay, like summarize like all of the Denver School Board election pages are in this group, right? All right, fine, that seems legit. And it'll go ahead, now it's going to work just in this group again, which is as figured out as the relevant tabs for this current thing, and it will give me a summary of each page. I can kind of jump to that one. It'll also give me this composite summary. So the idea is to continue iterating on this to the point where like you can kind of like gain understanding across large like swaths of pages, or like, hey, does this relate to another thing that I'm working on? Because you have a lot of power in these Chrome extensions. All right, so I'm trying to do the last final polish of like, hey, I've been working on this, it's been running on my computer for a while, but if I hand this to people, like what's the actual configuration someone needs to do? And just that like kind of last stage of like the bad part of the 80-20 principle, as I call it. So I'll have like, for people who want to try out this, again, very rough alpha, it's, I'm effectively a one-man team here. Not that I'm looking for sympathy. But like the ability to kind of like play with it. So I'll try to put up a sign up sheet soon. And then as I feel like it's not like, as I feel like I've worked out at least the initial onboarding kinks and have places for people to report bugs and stuff like that, start to like roll it out. Cause I'm curious, like what features you would want and like, what are kind of the missing gaps, or like, I've tested it repeatedly on like a lot of times the same pages. So like just throwing like whatever you see in your day-to-day life at it and kind of like getting a sense of like being able to use it and stuff along those lines. So if you've made it this far, like definitely look out for like a sign up, and I'm interested in just general hot takes that you have. Be nice to me, please. Or like, hey, this would be good, but I'd love it on mobile instead, or like, those are all like doable possibilities, but trying to figure out like what, is this something that's valuable? Is this something that you might like consider using? And there's lots of other little features in here. I'm not gonna go through everything, but like, is this something, or it's like, if it had this feature, I would totally use it. What would be your killer use case? So yeah, definitely let me know. I am excited to hear from you and see all of that stuff as well. Thank you so much.